You're watching the Sports and Political channel of LB. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. All right, let's get down to business. So, this particular video, we're going to talk about Scott Adams. This man is the creator of the comic strip Dilbert, and he has come under fire based on some rantings that he spotted out his mouth regarding black people, right? Now, there was this poll, and it was led by the conservative leading Rasmussen poll. Now, the Rasmussen poll is what Fox News used to spew out their talking points. So if you listen to Tucker Carlson or Sean Hannity or whoever else, they would use the conservative leading Rasmussen poll to generate their talking points or whatever like that. So this poll was asked, it was described as simple and uncontroversial, but in fact, the phrase in question has a history that implies more than its face value meaning. The phrase, "it's okay to be white," was popularized in 2017 as a trolling campaign meant to provoke liberals into condemning the statement, and thus the theory went provoking their own unreasonableness. All right. Now, if you heard me talk about this on this channel, where I talk about liberal, conservative, moderate, progressive, Republican, Democrat, right? All those are white supremacist terms that are interchangeable. What's up, Carla? What's going on? Salute to my sister Carla Jenkins in the building. Hey, Carla, I got to hit you up behind the scenes too. Ask you about some networking opportunities and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for that. Anyway, what's up, RG Titan? Salute, bro. Appreciate you for being up in here. So the Rasmussen poll cited correspondents reached through automated landline calls, and a panel of volunteer participants reported that 53% of the 117 black participants agreed with the statement, but 26% of the black participants disagreed, and 21% said they wasn't sure. Now, the video that Rasmussen posted on Twitter alongside the survey results had poster Mark Mitchell presented the question as a quote unquote good faith effort to capture public opinion. But this is the question I have when it comes to Scott Adams and his little racist rantings he went on, right? When has Scott Adams ever done anything but for Scott Adams? What's up, Too Raw? Like Scott Adams has generated tens of millions of dollars creating this corny ass cartoon character. And if you look at the video on YouTube, right? Because he has some episodes on YouTube. I've not seen not one instance where there is a black person on that goddamn video. Not one. Not even so much as a black dog walk across the street. Nothing. This man is a racist. And basically, he just letting his racism show. For all intents and purposes, Scott Adams just let his racism show. And this man's a cartoonist. He's a cartoonist. Now, what made him come out and run his mouth about black folks like we did anything to him is beyond me. What's up, Reef the Watcher? Salute, bro. Go subscribe to my man Reef the Watcher and the brother Too Raw for TV. And Too Raw, if y'all want to come in and we can talk about this if y'all want, I put the link in the chat room. If you want to come in and talk about it. But and the thing is, when he got dropped by every news publication, right? When he got dropped by every news publication, it's not like people lost sleep over it. It's not like there was this outrage over the fact that Scott Adams' Dilbert cartoon was dropped from the comics in these news publications. No one cared about Dilbert. No one cared about Dilbert. I sure as hell didn't care about Dilbert. Matter of fact, I didn't even know he was still in. I didn't know that thing was still in the comics. Emperor Palpatine, yeah. I've heard of Dilbert, but I never heard of this guy. What's up, Too Raw?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? What you got on this Bama right here?
Yeah, I saw this the other day, man, and I did a little bit of reading on it, and to me, he really just used that poll as an excuse. To me, he used that poll as an excuse to go on a racist rant because he's been doing this for years. He's been saying, quasi-racist stuff for years, in private. In interviews on his stupid, stinky podcast. But it's the first time he really went full throttle, like supernova racist. But yeah, he's been saying stuff like this for years. And, I'm just like, okay, this is what gets me. He said, right, that it's the poll that made him just give up on black people. But then if you listen to his rant, he said that he moved years ago to a community that had a very low black population on purpose because he's trying to avoid black people. So I thought you said it was this poll that was the last straw. No, you've been hating black people for years. With pretty much probably your whole life.
Right. Now, Andrews McNeil Universal, that's the company that syndicates Dilbert, they cut ties with his ass too. So
Good.
Those of you who may not be aware of what he said, Adams effectively encouraged segregation in a shocking rant on YouTube, calling Black Americans a hate group and suggesting that white people should get the hell away from them. Yeah, because them same people you talking about, you racist, they come in our towns and burn our towns down to the ground. We don't do nothing to them. Your little racist teenagers go into supermarkets, open fire, killing 10 black folks on a Saturday afternoon out in Buffalo, New York, and treating them like they're target practice. And he's treating this situation like it's goddamn on Call of Duty.
Yeah, and another thing that he don't put out there is, and we both know this, we both in the politics, Rasmussen is a right-wing leaning polling group anyway.
Right. That's where Fox News gets the talking points from.
Right, from Rasmussen. Right. And if I'm not mistaken, this poll, it asks, is it okay to be white, right? But then the other question was something, I'm a little fuzzy, but I think it said something about, are black people racist? Can black people be racist? And when you look at the question, it's like, okay, this is an anti-black, pro-white poll because of the questions. So a lot of black people probably picked up on that. That's probably why 53% said okay, but the other 47% like, okay, wait a minute. They probably was like, didn't answer, or maybe they said no because of the question. But another thing, LB, I want to point out is, Why is he not mad that only 72% of white people said yes? That's more than a quarter said no. Why he should be more mad at that than anything.
Right.
So yeah, that dude's it's just an excuse for him to espouse his racism, but you know, it's gonna hurt him in his pockets, and that's how you attack one of them. You hurt them in their pockets.
Yep. Not a whole lot of people were sitting up there or crying because, oh man, they got rid of Dilbert, man. What are we gonna do? How am I gonna get my daily Dilbert fix now?
Yeah, because we ain't talking about Garfield, man. Yeah, I like I said, I haven't read the comic strips maybe since I was a teenager or something, but I remember Dilbert, but that's not one of the funny ones. That's one of those. You know how you skip certain comic strips when you was a kid? Like if you look at the Sunday funnies and you skip some. Yeah, Dilbert was one I skipped.
Yeah, Dilbert was definitely one I skipped.
Yeah, like Prince Valiant. I remember that one. I said, okay, I ain't looking at that one. Let me skip that one. Okay, I'm gonna skip that one. Oh, Garfield. Yeah, Dilbert. Oh no, I ain't looking at that. Yeah, man, it ain't funny.
It ain't funny at all. It's just disgustingly bad. No one was out here checking for Dilbert, right?
Nope.
I mean, and then you look at the cartoon. The cartoon just as corny as the damn comic strip itself.
Oh, did you hear him? Dilbert was on EUPN for like 1 year as a cartoon, and it got canceled. And he accused the network of being racist.
I remember when Dilbert came on. Because I remember when it came on. I just couldn't remember the time frame or whatever like that. But I remember it coming on. And how can it be racist when you played it on a black network, right? Because UPN was a black network last time I checked, right? Then I remember it coming on for 1 year, and I remember all of a sudden it didn't come on no more because it was low ratings that caused it to get canceled. It had nothing to do with it being racist or whatever like that. No one watch a bullshit ass show.
It's just crazy to me, man. Like, you know what gets me about people like him? You and I and others, we can present actual evidence to support our claims that someone or something can be racist, and people will still question us, right? Oh, you guys are just imagining things. But a guy like him,
yeah, you guys is race baiting.
Right, we're race baiting. But a guy like him can just make up stuff. First of all, how can it be racist if UPN even aired Dilbert? And considering your racist past, they still cleared it for your stupid cartoon to air as a cartoon on that channel. And due to low ratings, it got terminated. But in your racist, black-hating paranoia, oh, it's because the black people canceled it.
Yeah, it was the black community that canceled it. All right, so what about the white folks that don't watch your bullshit ass show? What you got to say for them?
Right. What about when I'm pretty sure he probably tried to push the show to, the cartoon or whatever to NBC or CBS or something like that, and they didn't air it. Why he not mad at them? Why he accused them? Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Right. When Mo Lester Move was running around here, telling girls, if you don't suck my dick, you'll never work in this town again. They're still dropping a push ass shit.
Molester Move ass. Yeah, you're right though, man. It's insane.
Right. So I mean, I don't know what this guy going. I mean, look at that. I mean, look at this too, Raw. Look at the fucking character. Would you go out your way to watch this shit? And with a dude looking like that, looking like a goddamn Bart Simpson or a fucking heroin and shit?
Yeah, man. I never got the swap. I remember when there was a slight fascination with this character. I remember when he was at his peak, maybe like 20 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, pre 9/11. It was like a little bit of a slight Gilbert craze, and then it just went to crap. I mean, it's just I never got the fascination with that character when it was at his little small peak. And it does to me. He doesn't. That character hasn't had the staying power of like Garfield or Snoopy or Peanuts Gang or you
Heathcliff.
know Heathcliff, Popeye. Those are timeless characters. Dilbert sucks. It sucks. And you're right too. I've been trying to remember whether he ever drew a black character. I think there was one time out of pressure he drew some black dude that never had no lines. I think I remember one black dude he had. Other than that, for a long time, there was no black characters on Dilbert.
None. I mean, shit. I mean, if he was gonna be that racist, he might as well just drew a character with a KKK mask or costume or whatever like that on him. It just
Right. You're right. The Adventures of the Imperial Wizard or something like. You're right. Part-time Kinko's office worker, full-time racist, part-time KKK Grand Wizard. Yeah, you should do something like that, man, and maybe have like a niche audience of Trump supporters or something. But there's people out there, obviously, that are going to defend him.
right. Yeah.
It's always whenever one of these guys is exposed as a racist, here comes the racist brigade. Oh, he has his constitutional right. No, you don't have a constitutional right to go around espousing your racism. I don't think a lot of these morons like Marjorie Taylor Greene realize what the Constitution, what that really invokes. That's really it's your right to speak against the government or to speak without the government intervening and limiting your freedom of speech, limiting your freedom of press, the media, limiting citizens. It's more toward the government. So it's no right. You don't have a right to go online on someone else's shit. Someone else's stuff and say whatever you want to say. Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to get used to not cursing because YouTube targets me bad. So I'm trying to get used to not cursing as much. But I know you unfiltered. But
right.
yeah, I know. But they don't understand how the Constitution works. No, he don't have a right to he can say what he want to say. LB, he can say what he want to say. But
right.
there are repercussions and consequences to your actions. And those distributors have a right to say, okay, we're not carrying your butt anymore. So they dropped them.
Like a
yeah.
And I want to touch on something you spoke about, right? About people coming out and defending him. Because not soon after, I mean, how I put this, right? Because I'm over here like a stutter butter right now. Oh, yeah. Right after you said that, right? Right as you said that, I pull up an article, and guess who came out putting on his scrappy do cape defending Scott Adams? Elon Musk.
I heard about that. But maybe there's something different because I heard something else that he said. But okay, what was this?
Yeah, Elon Musk. So I'm gonna tell you what he said. Oh, what's up, Tapper Supreme Activities TX Man? Salute to y'all. Now, this the thing, right? Elon Musk was not no self-made millionaire, right? This South African reject, right? He was not some self-made millionaire. He actually got his subsidiaries from the government. That's how he got on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like he was just rags to riches story. Nah. Elon Musk got government assistance. And that's how he got his come up. But nevertheless, so I pulled up this article from The Guardian, right? This is what he said. Elon Musk has deployed his 130 million follower Twitter bullhorn to come to the rescue of a beleaguered cartoonist dumped by hundreds of newspapers across America for having delivered a virulent racist tirade. The Twitter and Tesla chief responded with his own controversial thought stream over the weekend after the mass termination of the Dilbert comic strip from U.S. newspaper titles. Its creator, Scott Adams, recently denigrated black people as a hate group, advising white people to just get the hell away from him. So he comes out and says how the media is racist. And for a very long time, United States media was racist against non-white people. Now they're racist against whites and Asians.
Yeah, it's interesting that he identifies as white and Asian, right? Don't he? Don't Elon Musk happen to identify with those two races?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very ironic. Yeah.
Very ironic, you know? It was also reported that Musk deleted a tweet in which he responded to a comment from Adams about his comic strip being dropped, saying, "What exactly are they complaining about?" Musk's defense of Adams stood in stark contrast to the collective decision of hundreds of news outlets, including the LA Times, the Washington Post, and the USA Today Network, to drop the strip in response to the cartoonist's overtly racist remarks. Several papers had dropped Dilbert last year in the wake of a series of earlier homophobic and racist outbursts from him.
Mm-hmm.
The strip was founded in 1989. I was 10 years old, so I ain't learned to develop sperm yet. And it's about 2,000 newspapers across 70 countries carried it. Adams lit a fuse under the success of his own work in a recent episode of his YouTube show, Real Coffee with Scott Adams. In the course of the show, Adams misinterpreted a Rasmussen poll that asked people whether they disagree with the statement, "It's okay to be white." As the Anti-Defamation League pointed out, the phrase originated with the extremist online forum 4chan. Here we go, 4chan. And why they not going after 4chan?
I don't know.
As a trolling campaign, and was then seized upon by white supremacists, but Adams took it literally. On the back of it, he declared black people as a hate group and expressed his relief that he had managed to flee them by living in a neighborhood with a very low African American population. Musk's decision to rush to the assistance of Adams came against a background of his controversial helming of Twitter since he took over the social media platform at a cost of $44 billion last year. Under his leadership, several suspended or banned accounts of white supremacists and neo-Nazis has been restored, and racist and anti-Semitic tweets have proliferated. Tesla has also faced numerous lawsuits alleging rampant racism and sexual harassment against employees. Man, there was the black dude that won like $100-something million lawsuit like a year or two ago from Tesla because of that racism, right?
Mm-hmm.
On Saturday, Twitter made the latest round of job cuts, laying off at least 200 staff from a total workforce that had been depleted from Musk from about 7,500 to 2,000. Amongst the casualties was the product manager who led the transition to a paid verification service known as Twitter Blue, according to the Verge Technology website. So the guy that created Twitter Blue said, thanks for your hard work, but we don't no longer need you. Let welfare feed you. What's that, Keith Cunningham? That shit crazy, man.
I don't know. It's just, I'm trying to figure out how we are this designated hate group. I mean, boy, for all the stuff we've gone through in this country, I think we're the most forgiving to a fault.
Yep.
Most fair people there are. You know, when I think of it from a historical standpoint, we don't go around burning white neighborhoods. We haven't done that. Actually, to be honest with you, it shows our self-hatred that if anything, we end up burning our own neighborhoods out of frustration. But I do know historically, people that look like Scott Adams have gone and pillaged and destroyed our neighborhoods and burned our neighborhoods to the ground. But we're the
Right.
hate groups. We're the hate groups. We're the hate people. I don't get that.
I don't get the correlation either. I mean, we get victimized all the time by laws, by brutality, by the police, and through other mechanisms that display your level of dominance. And yet we're the racists, right?
Right.
You
And
know, you know what that remind me of? You know what that remind me of too, Raw?
what?
When there was an incident in Columbia, South Carolina, you had this white supremacist, right, who was in the army. He was a sergeant first class, right? And he was yelling at this black teenager, right?
Mhm.
Like he yelled at him to the point, got up in his face and all that, going this tyrannical rant, right? Well,
Mhm.
not long he went after that tyrannical rant, the whole hood showed up at his house. That Batman was
Oh.
scared to come outside. Same thing happened in New Jersey. White supremacists talking shit about black folk, right? Went to
Mhm.
got up in the man face, talking all kind of shit about him, calling him a monkey and the N word and all that other stuff, right?
Mhm.
Shit. The next day, the whole hood showed up at his house.
Mm.
Yeah, I bet you his ass ain't gonna come outside then.
Yeah.
I don't get these motherfuckers, right? Because these motherfuckers ain't nothing but a bunch of beta males. So you're gonna fix your mouth, right, Scott Adams? You're gonna fix your mouth to talk shit about us, right? Oh, I wanna move in the area where there's very few black people. So what? What the fuck we did to you? Right? You wanna move in the area where so few black people for what?
I really don't get it. um, I know it's almost like it's become popular. It's almost like it's become popular in certain circles to be racist now. It's like a renaissance of racism and whatnot. And, at the same time, I kind of wonder whether or not Trump, like when he ran for president, him being so open, right, about how he feels about stuff and, saying blatantly racist stuff that they make excuses for. I'm starting to think that a lot of people have been harboring racist feelings for a long time, but since the 80s, 70s, and 80s into like the last few years, it was unfashionable to display your racism. It was unacceptable. You would be, ostracized. But now, social media leaves a community for people to feel safe to say these things. Excuse me, Trump has made it more popular now to be racist and not have any consequences. And I can't help but harbor back to George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman literally took the life of somebody because he was a racist, and he got away with it. And Trump, I think these things all have allowed these people to feel like they have a safe haven and they have a right to say what they want to say. They feel like they have a right to it. And I think it's because they misinterpret when we come out and we say certain things about living in a racist society. We talk about living in a racist society, how it affects us. They feel like, well, we should have a right to say how we don't like you. Well, it don't work like that because we have been victims of living in a society that they created, that they've been punishing us, not each person, but as a society. But they don't have I mean, how can you have a right to come out and say that black people are the problem? Like, do you know your history? How are we the problem?
How could we be racist and all that?
Right, how can you be racist? What are you talking about?
The fuck you talk about? You know what I'm saying? Saltine King? What's up, Keith Cunningham? What you got?
I ain't want to interrupt. Hey, nice to meet you too, Raw. Too Raw,
Hey,
you
what's
know
up,
I'm a
man?
big fan. Yeah, I always comment on your channel. Always comment on. You know
Yeah, I
what the
know you.
biggest problem? The biggest problem I got is, okay, if you want to separate from us, then build your own culture then. Cause there ain't no culture. When you talk about basketball,
Hmm.
football, major sports, y'all made a platform off of either degrading us, trying to lower our contracts, doing whatever. So if we just say, okay, we ain't even gonna do that no more. We gonna go do our old thing. What do they have left? That's what bothered me about this clown. He
Hmm.
never,
We go do our own thing. They want to come try to take that.
just like Black Wall
That
Street,
music.
Blackdom, all this good stuff right there. If you do your research, that's the reason why they want to kill CRT. Because, but at the end of the day, the cat out the bag. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. It's already out there.
Well, see, this thing about CRT, Keith, right? CRT was started by Christopher Rufo, another white supremacist, right? Because
Right.
that's why I know CRT don't exist, right? That critical race theory is a whole bunch of bullshit, right?
Yes,
I got
sir.
it. So I talked to a kid, right? And I asked this kid one day, I'm like, hey, you heard about critical race theory? And when that kid came back and told me, what's that? That's how I know that was some bullshit.
Well, that's a college course that you actually gotta elect to take. But
Yeah, but
they translated it into something. It just like then it went, and I'm down here in Florida. He done went from saying I don't want to teach nothing about Black History Month, but you ain't say nothing about Asian history. You ain't say nothing about Native American history, which I ain't got no problem with. Why did you single out Black people?
because you know what,
That's
because you know what the elephant in the room is, right?
oh yeah, I know. I'm gonna let you. This is your platform. I'm gonna let you go ahead and do it.
So, too raw. You know what the elephant in the room is?
I'm assuming you're talking about slavery.
Not slavery, but it's some along the lines of slavery.
The fact that they have oppressed us, and they don't like being in that, they don't like the truth to come out because it makes them look bad.
Well, not just that, but we're on the right track. It starts with the word. It starts with the letter R.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now.
Y'all see where I'm going at with that, right?
Yeah. They always trying to change the conversation with that one.
Yep,
Everybody else
yep.
get it. Everybody else get it except for us.
That's
Yep.
right. Because when it comes to that, for those of you who might be hiding under a rock and still don't have a goddamn clue what I'm talking about reparations. All right.
Yes, there you go. There you go. Minute that came out, all of a sudden they trying to look. You can only. I don't know if y'all grandparents ever told you can only
I
sweep
got people
so
leaving the
much
room when I
dirt.
said that R word, bro. I got people leaving the room when I said that R word.
Hey, listen, you can only sweep so much dirt under the rug. My mother, grandmother told me before you trip over it. That's what they trying to avoid. Because you can't take away the contributions that we as black folks gave to this country. And when I talk about Elijah Wood, it talk about all these guys that contributed. I grew up in Ohio. Paul Lawrence Dunbar was within 3 blocks of my house. His museum, things like that. They don't want that to come out. They don't want that to come out. Fellas, I'm just telling you. I'm just saying.
You know, a lot of people, I know me and LB, we was talking about this a couple of months ago, maybe a year ago now. A lot of people are aware of Wall Street, Black Wall Street, and they know what happened with Rosewood. But it's one of the biggest tragedies that ever occurred. What happened in Wilmington? I think it was Wilmington back in 1894.
Yeah. There you go. There you
Mhm.
go. There you
And
go.
yeah, they literally, because Wilmington was the most progressive southern city. They had a biracial government, elected government, and these white supremacists ran these people out of office and took over offices they weren't even elected to, all because of their hatred toward black people.
Yeah, because they knew if they got in position, then we make a move like U-Haul. And it's this go deep, y'all. This goes deep. This is why I like when I get with brothers. LB, you got a great channel. I always try to at least give you a like. I can't give everybody contribute, but I can do the best I can because I'm trying to do my own thing. But when fellas really get on there and y'all, like I told Old Head Podcast, and I'll tell Ticket, I'll tell you too, Raw. Y'all making moves, and this is really you moving the meter to where they ain't got no choice but to be like, man, we gotta do something about this. LB, you coming up. LB, you coming up. It's a lot of people that come and listen to your channel, and I'll be like, don't be scared. Subscribe to him. And if you don't do nothing but hit the like button, that's just real talk, man. We gotta support y'all. We gotta support y'all, man. We don't support each other, then we ain't got nothing.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
It's I agree, and it's gonna take us, because clearly YouTube it go push our content. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Man, they wouldn't even let me and my homeboy, we did a video Sunday night, man. And I got flagged for it, and they didn't even let it out. And I said, okay, then when I come back again, I'm gonna make sure, this is, I don't even know if that's even possible, fellas. You can clean it up as much as you want to, and it don't really matter. They'll find a way to mess with it.
Mm-hmm. Always, man. But yeah, man, this dude, Scott Adams, right? Running around here looking like a goddamn big ass jar of Miracle Whip. You know what I'm saying? Running his goddamn own mouth, talking shit about black folks, and black folks saying, "We don't even read your fucking comic books. Your shit corny as fuck, man." You know what I'm saying? When I used to read the comic books, what comic books am I reading? I'm reading about Transformers, Voltron, Thundercats, Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, the Thor. Guess what comic book I was not looking for? Dilbert.
Well, if you look at the picture he got up, that's a reflection of him.
I mean, think about this, Keith, right? If we keep this a buck, right? Let's keep this a buck. When I watch cartoons, I was watching Heathcliff, Garfield, Transformers, Voltron, Thundercats,
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny, Looney Tunes, right?
Yeah.
Hell, even later on, when you had like cartoons, like I didn't watch this cartoon, but when Pokemon was a thing, or Digimon, or
Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog,
Yeah. Hey, LB,
South
my
Park,
kids, me and my kids used to laugh at the Powerpuff Girls. We,
right? You had Sailor Moon, fucking Johnny Bravo. You had two
oh
stupid
yeah,
dogs,
yeah,
right?
two stupid dogs. Yeah.
I got a stupid dog
Oh,
right here on the thumbnail. Guess what cartoon I was not looking to watch? Dilbert. Hell, hey, what was that cartoon with the duck that came on USA? What the hell was that cartoon?
Oh, I know you're talking about Duckman.
Yes. I used to watch Duckman. Right?
Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
hell yeah. He's watch.
Jason Alexander used
Sir,
to do
hey,
it.
yeah, I mean, look, some funny stuff that was outrageous compared to what he was. Courage the Cowardly Dog. I mean, I would look at that before I
Stupid
looked at
dog.
any of his. Yeah, I know. I did that to my dog, man. I did that to my dog, man. My kids used to.
Yeah,
He's,
I mean, yeah.
well, he just now they getting so like my mom used to tell me all the time, fellas. When they get to this point, they're gonna be like worms in hot ashes. That means they're gonna be all over the place. They're gonna be squirming.
Yeah.
And they showing you right now, man. They jump out the window every chance they get. Every chance they get, my friend. I mean, they doing it. They doing it. It's showing you right now. Nobody even provoked this dude to do this.
Nope.
Nobody provoked this dude to do this.
Just like nobody provoked Peyton Gendron, or nobody provoked Dylan Roof. Nobody
No.
provoked that dang on what's Walter Scott. No, Michael Slager when he shot Walter Scott in the back,
Yeah,
or
nobody
Joe
provoking him.
Silverman who shot
Nobody
Trayvon
provoking
Martin.
him.
You know, I always have my theories about a lot of these people that are really like pathologically racist against black people. I really think, honestly, they're racist toward black men more so than black women. I think it's a lot of it's aimed at us. And I have my theories as to why a lot of people like him are racist toward us, but I don't want to go into it. I have you guys think about it.
But don't keep me in suspense.
Oh, I think it's. I wouldn't be surprised if it's more of them, not like them having secure issues with themselves, and I think a lot of times they. I suspect. I put it like this. I think a lot of these dudes have had situations where they've had girlfriends or a sister date black guys. I think a lot of times these guys are insecure, and it's a situation where they secretly want to be black, or they're envious of certain traits that we have, and it comes out as it ends up being like it comes out as hate. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of these dudes, they secretly like us in some way, even though they claim how much they hate us, but they really, in some ways, envy us. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to equate it like to a troll on YouTube that always say how much they dislike us, right? But yet they're the first people to always subscribe to our channels. They're the first people comment. Like, if you dislike us so much, why are you always here? Because they secretly kind of like us and stuff. So I think
I
it's
think
good.
it's an insecurity thing where
Right.
if they want they I guess the best way I can say it too, Raw, is they want to be accepted, but they want to be dominant and we ain't built like that.
Right.
They coming into a they.
It's taking all sides of the equation. Hey,
Yep.
we don't like you, but hey, we see that you got some stuff here of value, so we're going to take that, right? Why you think they want to take our rap music? They want to take our women. They want to take our because you got some of these, some of these feminists out here don't like black men, but they definitely will get them a piece of white schlong, right?
Okay. Right. Well, I want to ask y'all a question. Now, when we were growing up and we were looking at broadcasts on just your local TV, right? It was journalism, right? Now you got okay, yeah, okay. But I want to say something. I want you to really next time look at how many of our verbiage, our slang that they use in a common broadcast. Ghost, hater. That wasn't there 20 years ago. That was not there 20 years ago. Look how much they stole from them. I want y'all to stand back and think about that.
You know what? It's a movie that came out 20 years ago that kind of alludes to what you're talking about. Remember Undercover Brother?
Yeah. I remember that. That was funny. That was funny. Right. Funny movie.
Right?
Remember Chris Kattan? Remember Chris Kattan? He was like the man's number one henchman. And remember, he hated black people, but he at the same time kept picking up slang from us. Like
he kept emulating us. He kept emulating us.
Exactly. And that's the paradox I was trying to get at. Like they hate us, but they love our style. They love our swag.
Our creativity. Our creativity.
Yes, our creativity, our ingenuity, and how much of our culture they've stolen from us. Like they have convinced us to dislike all. I'm talking about like the younger black generation. Jazz, that's us. Blues, that's us. Rock and roll, that's us. Hell, to be honest with you, country music is really us.
Yep, country music is all about black people.
Right. That's us. They've taken all these things from. If you go listen to the music from the 19th century, that shit sound like absolute garbage. Before we came around and brought our culture to the 20th century, we finally got out of the shackles of slavery, and we brought our music into the forefront, and it was a whole different sound. Our athleticism when it comes to sports, they envy these things, and they admire us for it, but at the same time, it bleeds into their white supremacy thinking, and they're always at this. You know what I'm saying? It clashes. I put it like that. It clashes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll say this, fellas. Growing up like that, they were always doing this. Because, like, I was in high school in the late 80s and then graduated in 90. It was always somebody in the classroom, a white chick that was dating the quarterback that was steady trying to say something to you. You know, you just starting to grow your goatee if you had one popping off. And they be like, what is that? So it's called a goatee. I mean, I'm with you all the way on that too, Raw, because they can't create nothing for themselves. Let's be honest. They cannot create nothing for themselves. So that was the irony of what he said. Was okay then. When we get away from you, what you got left? What you got left? None of these immigrants that you got coming over here can create like us. We've been doing it while y'all kept y'all foot on our neck. Them people
Man,
pandered to you.
I mean, I don't know. It's just, you had people go through generations of slavery and they still endured. They still held out hope. They still believed in God. Let's put it like that, right? And these people still kept their nature about them. They still kept their faith about them. And then you had people on the flip side, them, you read about how in the 20s, when the Great Depression hit, all because they lost their material possessions, they were jumping off buildings.
Shit, that's what people were doing when Michael Jackson died that one day.
Right. These people were deleting themselves, and like we're like, what? That's not. Do you know how hard life can be?
Hey, fellas, we just seen that happen with the pandemic and how they went crazy. They went crazy. Brothers was just, it was another day in the neighborhood.
Right. Oh, okay. We got
Look how they get.
They can't handle that. Like, they don't want anybody telling them what to do. Like, y'all gotta stay in the house.
Yeah, you gotta stay in the house. We was like, man, we been done that. So
right. House arrest? Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been doing that. Okay. You tell us
pandemic?
It's my constitutional right to be able to lead out. No. Okay. There's a pandemic going on. Stay your ass in the house. No, it's my right to go. All right, whatever.
Oh yeah, they were sitting up there comparing this thing to slavery. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about, bitch?
What are you talking about? They was going up there with guns and everything, talking about you on my constitutional. Man, we've been doing this. And minute the Black Panther showed up with guns, y'all change laws so we can't do it. Man, what?
Yeah.
Boy, the hypocrisy is real. The hypocrisy is real. And the only problem they got right now, I ain't gonna say it's the only problem. Biggest problem they got right now, the fact that we three brothers sitting here on a platform and can share our thoughts and this, that, and the other, they hate that. They hate that. They like, man, all of a sudden, the internet can be a curse, but it can also be a blessing. Because a lot of people getting together. I don't care about the numbers. I'm talking about people doing things, and maybe if it's one or two people that hear LB's channel or your channel, like I was able to hear it, then I'm understanding this brother here on code. You feel me? Mm-hmm. They don't want that to happen, man. They do not want that to happen. That's a real talk to you.
Whether they like it or not, you know what I'm saying?
Well, it's on a bigger platform. It's on a bigger platform where we don't need to be sitting on the hood of a car or in each other playing spades. We can talk to each other across the nation and talk like this. You see what I'm saying? That's a way bigger platform.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can get up and I told plenty of people about Too Raw, Old Head Podcast, LB. I done told plenty of people about that. And when they get on there and look, they be like, yeah, I agree with what LB said earlier today or Too Raw. And I just want to keep that going as far as, man, all we got to do is keep it going. Because that's the reason why he jumped out the window, tell you the truth. Because he know This actually, if you combine all the guys that y'all cool with, y'all platform way bigger than his.
Right.
That's the reason why he said it. That's the reason why he said it.
Well, he's a clown and a joke.
Yeah, he
And
you
look,
know he can't hold on to what he's doing. He can get a bunch of bootlicks and back alley buck dancers to try to stand up for him, but the real dude's like, nah, man, we ain't never rock with you anyway. So what's the difference?
Absolutely.
and the truth of the matter is, look, he already made his money, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when you got hundreds, tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars already, right? He could come out and spout his anti-black racism. You know why? Because the motherfucker ain't starving. He already made his money.
No, he ain't starving, and they gave him how many people in your family are a great artist? I mean, as far as being able to draw something.
I can draw.
Hey,
I can
I can
draw
draw
too.
okay.
I can draw better.
You actually,
I can draw a better
yeah,
character than this motherfucker here. I mean, look at this thing. It looked like he took some corn on the cob and made this character or whatever like that.
man, it's now you could put that same creativity that I heard you talk about for months and make a comic, and it'll be way better than his. But they not gonna give you that chance. But they're gonna promote him. They're gonna promote him. You know why? Because he got the complexion for the protection. Whether he's talented or not, all they gonna do is put him on a newspaper somewhere, and all of a sudden we supposed to be looking at Dilbert. I never looked at that crap.
You ain't missed nothing.
Man, you ain't missing nothing. I mean, look at this character. I mean, would you rip off it? Would you legally rip off the cover of a comic book to read this shit? Hell no.
No. But I mean, he get that privilege because, and then he had the nerve. You know what? Something else he said that pissed me off, fellas. He said, "Well, we got to stop helping." When have you helped black people? That's when it really hit me.
That's why I asked the question earlier. Like, when does Scott Adams help anyone other than Scott Adams?
And I also hate the implication that whenever we like the civil rights movement, when we went through so much pain, like you had women having their breasts bitten off and fire hoses, sprayed on us and our heads bashed in and all those things that they went through. You're equating that to a handout. We had to fight for all of that, suffer for all of that, and that's handout. That just bothers me when they always try to reduce it to when we want something, it's a handout. When we achieve something, it's a handout. All the subsidies that these businessmen get through the government, which ain't nothing but corporate welfare.
Elon Musk.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. But you're
Yeah,
gonna
but
tell me you got all these years of free labor from us, but minute we ask for our part of it, we asking for a handout. You done built I'm sorry, generational wealth off of. And a lot of them people they German, Irish, all immigrants came here and benefit for being white people. They wasn't chattel slavery. They was indentured services. They even had to do that.
And the thing
Do
about
your
that,
history.
America is so racist that most of them had the anglicize, I think it's called, anglicize their names. Like they came over here with Italian sounding names,
Yeah.
Viatelli and all of that. But over
Yeah.
years, they had to Americanize their names to fit in. But the advantage that they had was they had the right complexion. So they've been able to pass as white as long as they changed their names and their accents faded over time through, being in this country in generations. And now these same people who the Klan 100 years ago also didn't want this country, now they got the nerve to take their ass over here and talk about black people. You better get the hell out of my face.
Man, and that's the reason why you getting this pushback, because we sitting here talking about that. This is taboo to them. This is taboo to them, man. They don't want to hear this. They don't want to hear three fellas just in a conversation talking like this. They don't want to hear that. And that's just real talk, bro. That's real talk. They do not want to hear it. And LB, my fault, man. I always want to get on one of your shows and speak, and I'm a big fan of Two Raw, all y'all guys. So I just wanted to jump on there and speak my piece on that for a second, and then I'm gonna land my plane with that, my fellas.
Hey man, I appreciate you for coming on, man. You know what I'm saying?
All right, now,
All
man.
right.
Appreciate you supporting us.
All right, man. Y'all have a good evening.
Do the same, bro.
All right.
Yeah, man. It's right there. Hey, man. See, one thing they can't do nowadays is lie. These people can't lie no more. We got the power of the internet. We can see whatever we want to see on this internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said before, before I get up out of here, because I'm going to bed, Scott Adams is a byproduct of the system that's put in place. He is.
Yeah.
He's a clown. And he's just saying the thing out loud because he can. Because in his eyes, he already made his money.
Yeah, he's what? I'm assuming he's in his 60s.
Let me see how old that Bama is. Hold on. I thought he was almost 70.
Might be.
You might. He's 65 years old.
Okay. Yeah, so, he done made his money.
Yeah, he done made his money. As far as he's concerned, he can do whatever he wants now. Shit, as far as he concerned, and I made my money, I can say whatever the hell I want now. Fuck you.
And it's never occurred to him that if black people are hostile to him in his everyday interactions, it's because he has a record for saying racist crap.
I guess that ain't occurred to him. That's what I'm talking about, yo. Cause get that triple double. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to hit this parlay. Shit. So yeah, he a clown. Yeah. But on that note, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm tired as hell, man. I'm trying to get me some sleep.
Okay, man.
All right, man. Too Raw, you know what I'm saying? Always good to have you on.
Yeah, always good chopping it up with you, man.
Yep, always good chopping it up with you, man. You know what I'm saying? And yep. If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure to subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platform. Shouts out to the LDBC. This your man. Scream at me. All right.